Hi Potassium, happy Friday. I hope you guys had a great week and I hope you guys have enjoyed the weather this week. It's been so nice outside. I thought I'd take the videos outside today. So here we are. This is my backyard. And the reason I'm doing this video is really not to teach you anything, but more to tell you how much you guys have inspired me this week. So this week we started all about kind of reducing, reusing, and recycling just to take care of our environment. And so many of you have sent me so many cool things that you guys are doing at home that I decided that I should do something like that too. You guys have done such a great job. It's been so inspiring to me. So what I've started doing is I wanted to kind of reuse a few of my vegetable scraps as well as some few other household things to try and get regrow a few of my vegetables, right? So for example, this one here is not ready, but some of you did this. I have a sweet potato here. Let me pull it out of the jar. As you can see, it's sprouting some roots down here, showing some roots, and it's got the little stems growing here. When this one starts getting a little bit more leafy, I think it'll be ready to plant. And I'm very excited about this because I actually love sweet potatoes. And I'm sorry about the lighting here. The sun's over there and it's just a funny spot, but I think we'll be okay. Now, the other thing I have here is that we also use a lot of onions for cooking. So I read that if you cut off the bottom bit of an onion and you soak it in water for a little while, it's gonna start regrowing the roots, right? And when the roots start regrowing, then I can go ahead and pot this. So I have that sitting in a little cup of water, and I have my little plastic forks to hold it. I think many of you can use toothpicks for this, but I didn't have any toothpicks at home. So I just had these plastic forks, and they're doing a good job. So we'll have this sitting by the windowsill along with the sweet potato for a few days until I think it's ready. It's gonna start drying out on the top, and once it starts growing the leaves, is I think when I can go ahead and pot it. Now, one thing I want to make clear is that I am not a very good gardener, to be honest, and so if I do something wrong here, or if you have suggestions of how to do things better, by all means let me know. I would love to get better at gardening. I know many of you are so good. I've seen some of you have your own little herb gardens, vegetable gardens, fruit gardens, as well as compost, right? So if you can help me out, I would really appreciate it too. So we have the sweet potato and the onion over here on the side. And so I'll keep you guys, and so what I'll do is I'll keep track of this. I'll send pictures and just let you guys know how this is going. The other thing that we use in cooking a lot here in my house is celery. And so what I thought to do is, I read that you can regrow celery if you cut off the bottom bit, right? And you go ahead and let it sit in like a little dish with some warm water, and it sits there like so, right? It's gonna be kind of like the onion, but it's not gonna grow roots. It's just gonna start sprouting the leaves up. And when that's ready, I think I'm gonna go ahead and repot it in another container so it can have more space. And that's gonna be very excited because we love celery. I can use it for peanut butter, for hummus, for any type of dip, or just stir fry cooking, anything, right? Now, the other two things that we use a lot is some garlic, right? And so I have an older piece of garlic here that I forgot to use, but I think I can still reuse this, right? So I have an old yogurt cup here. Look at me recycling and reusing. I went ahead and punched the hole on the bottom so it can drain. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this with soil. And you guys can have tools for gardening, but I like to get my hands dirty, right? So here's my little thing of soil. I'm just gonna grab a little bit of a handful. I'm gonna make a bit of a mess here, but you can't see it. And so I'm just gonna start filling up the container, right? Just a little bit at a time. I don't want it overflowing, and I don't think I want it too full because I don't want to suffocate the garlic. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a bit of a hole inside. You can't see it, but inside that hole is where I'm gonna go ahead and submerge the garlic. I'm gonna sprinkle some more soil on top just to cover it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just sprinkle some water on it. Not a whole lot, but just to get the soil wet. And I'm gonna keep this off to the side. And this I have to keep spraying water on to keep it moist to make sure that the garlic is getting the nutrients from its hydration. All right, let's put that off to the side. Now, another thing that I love to eat too is some bell peppers. And clearly I don't have the whole bell pepper here. We ate it. So, but I do have the little stem, and the stem is full of seeds. Can you guys see that? That looks crazy cool. So what I do is I just kind of take off a few, and they're gonna fall down on a little board that I have here, right? Now, I am not sure if it's best to grow these bell peppers with fresh seeds like these, or if I should let them dry. I'm gonna try with fresh seeds first, and then I'm gonna save the rest, let them dry out, and try those again later. Now, to go ahead and kind of start getting this to sprout, I have a few little jars like these that I have from some old yogurt jars that I used to buy. I also have some cardboard, and I'm gonna use cardboard to put inside the jar, fill it with soil, so that way when these are ready, I can go ahead and just pop out the little container that's full of soil and the seeds and put it in another pot, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with that. And then at the top, I'm just gonna go ahead and sprinkle the seeds. And again, if I'm not doing this right, please forgive me. It's my first time doing this. I'm a little nervous, but I think we'll be okay. All right. So something like this, not too crazy. It's got soil inside. I'm gonna put a little bit more around it, just so it can stand up, hold its shape standing up. All right, I have it here. I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle some of the seeds on top. Not too many, push them in just a little bit more soil. And this one here, I'm just gonna put a little bit more water in there, just to moisten them up a bit. So there's one. I actually have 4 more, so let's get going. Another jar. Let's get some soil in there. All right. There we go, something like this. Perfect. A few more seeds on top. I don't want to push them all the way down. I want to give them a chance to get some of that sunlight from the window. Plus all of these are going to be by the window over there with the sweet potato, the celery, and the onion. All right. 2 down, 2 more to go, right? All right. This is so exciting. I've never tried to start growing vegetables before, but I saw you guys doing it, and it just made me so happy that you guys were able to do all that stuff just with the things you have at home. And I wanted to do the same. All right, there it is. A little bit more. Let's get some of these seeds on top. You can see them falling there. All right, a few more, some soil on top. Finally, the last one. Perfect. And again, I'm gonna keep track of everything that I'm planting here with pictures so I can share with you guys my progress or my failures. And if something doesn't work out for me, then that's okay, right? Because anything that doesn't turn out the way we do, we learn from, just like when we studied the scientific method. So we're just experimenting here. See how well Mr. Navarro can grow some vegetables. All right, a little bit right there, perfect. All right, my 4 little jars of bell peppers there. I think these are good for vegetables, but I do have one final thing that I thought to take care of today, and it does have to do with a little bit of reusing. So I have a few succulent plants here at home that when my dogs walk by, they always knock down the little bulbs, right? And so I feel bad sweeping them up and throwing them away. So what I did is I put them all on a plate, and I would spray them with water little by little, or just kind of, they would get wet with the rain. But what ends up happening is they start growing again. Can you guys see that? So cool. It's a little blurry there, my goodness, I'm sorry. But the little bulb dries up, but even more come out, right? And so I have a huge little, not a huge plate, but a bunch of them on a little plate here. So what I'm gonna do is, we have this super cool little planter right here with a face, but as you can tell, it's missing some hair, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill this with soil, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and lightly bury these on top. So here's my soil. Let's put some in here. And I'm sorry for the lighting out here, guys. I'll get it better next time. And on the bottom under the soil, I didn't show you, but I put some rocks, like a nice layer of rocks down just to help it with the drainage. And the other thing is, anytime you try and plant some things, you should have some kind of drainage at the bottom, right? Like I did with the garlic. The one thing that's not really draining are these glass ones, but I think I'll be okay with that one. And if not, I'll just have to do it like this next time I try. But it's not all the way full, so I need a little bit more soil here. Excuse me, it's covering my face. All right, now all I have to do is, I don't really have to bury these. I just kind of go ahead and sprinkle them at the top. There we go. Spread them out just a little bit. And I'm actually not going to water these. I'm going to spray them, but I don't have my spray bottle right now. So, but as these start growing again, I'm gonna go ahead and send you guys a picture of this so you can see how cool its hair starts to look, right? And so that's pretty much it that I'm doing right now. I do have these other really cool succulents that a friend of ours dropped off at our front door. And they kind of look like these. They're all spiky. Let me see if I can't really pull one out. Yes, I can. But there they go. They're like these. But I need a much bigger container for these, as these, when they grow, they get really big like a ball. But I really like them. They're so cool looking. So I'm saving these for another time. But that's all I had for today, guys. Again, I'm really proud of you guys this week. It's been so inspiring what you guys have done this. And so I just kind of wanted to share that with you. And again, if you guys have any help, any pointers, any suggestions, by all means, let me know. I would love to get better at all this stuff. See you guys soon. Have a great weekend.